I haven't seen the final cut,
Right.
no. I know Seth is constantly changing and tweaking jokes and things like that. You know, the great thing about the bear is he can change what he says in a matter of minutes. I've seen rough cuts and I thought, you know, we accomplished our goal. Our goal was to make it better than the first, but also make it different, make it its own thing, and you know, have that great combination of really kind of harsh, in-your-face humor and with a nice balance of heart, and also now with the message as well that, you know, everybody should be treated equally. It's definitely there, and it's done, I think, in a very smart way. You know, Ted becomes the voice for all those people who are being mistreated. Well, God, they started talking about it right after the success. But, you know, Seth and I were, neither one of us had, you know, engaged in any of those conversations. And then it wasn't until he thought about it and figured out an idea and a way to make it different, make it its own, and then he presented it with me, and I said, yeah, because you know, the rule for sequels is you got to make it better than the first. You don't make it just for the sake of riding the wave until people don't want to see it anymore. And I knew once he told me the idea that it would be great. Yeah, it was a huge surprise. I mean, we knew that we had something special and unique, but you can never anticipate that kind of success. And you always want to keep the expectations low anyway. And US comedies don't translate, especially into foreign language territories. So it just became this phenomenon all over the world. I mean, even when it was working in various territories, I have a friend who was the head of marketing at Paramount at the time, and international as well. And I was like, we had Japan left. And I was like, what do you think about Japan? He's like, no, it's not going to work in Japan. It's not going to work in Japan. I said, well, it's worked in other Asian territories. What do you think? I mean, what are the odds? He was like, it's not going to work in Japan. They made $50 million in Japan.
Really?
It was like, became this huge phenomenon with like teenage and high school girls, you know? So, I don't know, it's just a sweet, cuddly teddy bear that can get away with saying anything and everything. And also the fact that, you know, again, you balance that humor with that heart, and, you know, you get emotionally invested in these guys and the relationship, and the bond and the brotherhood, and, you know. Well, I wouldn't read the script for the first one. I was pitched the idea, and I just thought it was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever heard.
Really?
And then it wasn't until I talked to another agent about another movie, he said, I heard you were doing Ted. I said, what is this Ted? So I said, I gotta read it. You know, because Seth and I have the same agent, so I just think my agent's trying to push me into doing something with his client. I read it, and I'm like, put it down after 35 pages. I said, this could be the greatest buddy comedy of all time, or it could be a disaster. Very much like Boogie Nights, because you kind of forgot about the teddy bear thing. So I met with Seth, just like I met with PTA, fell in love, got it, knew he could bring this thing to life and execute it properly. And then I saw the test for the bear, and I was in. And then cut to, I'm now in the movie, and I'm trying to explain to my wife as we're driving to the Academy Awards what my next movie is. And she's like, you are an idiot. That sounds horrible. You're gonna end, your career is over. Enjoy this night, because that's it. And then, of course, I took her to the movie, and she could not stop laughing. I mean, she can't wait to see this one. My mom can't wait to see this one. Well, now you meet John. I mean, it was pretty telltale signs that the marriage with Laurie was not going to work. If she enjoyed marijuana as much as John, they probably would have had a chance of succeeding, right? But, so you meet John now, he's divorced, he's very depressed, and Ted's trying to get him out of this depression by introducing him to other women and get back in the game. Ted has not learned anything from John's mistake or experience, so he decides he's gonna marry Tammy Lynn to keep the relationship going. Honeymoon's over before it starts. Now he's like, okay, the only way to keep this thing going is to have a baby. I'm like, okay, how are you gonna have a baby? You got no dick. And he's like, well, I don't know, let's get a sperm donor. So then that's where the journey begins. And you know, we can't get a sperm, well, we get I donate sperm, but Tammy Lynn is unable to conceive, so they want to adopt, and then they basically say, you're not a person, you're property, you're not allowed to adopt a baby. And then we decide we're gonna, you know, sue the government for Ted's civil rights. And you know, we want equal rights for everybody. And that's where we start. Well, no, like, well, yes, but I remember reading up until the sperm bank, and I'm just laughing hysterically at the result, the end result of the sperm bank, when it all goes horribly wrong. And then I said, wait a second, this is happening to me. I'm John. Oh, shit. I don't want to do this. I mean, it's brilliant, right? It's going to be hilarious. It'll be one of those standout scenes of the movie, but I don't want to do this. I don't want to have this happen to me. But then you got to actually go and do it. And I was just like, oh, man. What are we going to use? How are we going to do this? You know, but it turned out to be a great moment. So. It's very technical with all the, you know, the aspects and the choreography and the movement of the bear and all that stuff. But we have a lot of fun. Seth and I have a lot of laughs. But it can be stressful too. It's work. But I always try to make sure I have a good time. I think so. I don't think you should be able to censor comedy. But for me, I have boundaries. I told Seth, anything with religion, I'm not going to say. Ted can say whatever he wants. He can get away with it. But for me, my own personal faith and beliefs, I don't want to go there. And he was like, no problem. So, you make your own personal choices. Well, basically, we'll talk about, okay, he's going to be here. If he's stationary, then we'll just have like a stick with 2 little dots for his eyes, so I have an eye line. But other than that, he's just not there. I'm just making pretend, and Seth's off in the other room watching what I'm doing while doing the voice of Ted. And then, 3 months later, boom,
there he is.
There. Yeah.